Grand Rising. In this video, I'm going to break down current day living in Canada on the Apex protocol. So on the plan, I'm going to go train, going to go up to the mountains, go for a quick hike, probably make some nice food, stop in a couple places, and I will be sharing a few things about the Apex protocol and about my general lifestyle and why living this type of lifestyle is far superior for your overall health, for your physical health, for your mental health, for just overall living a better life in comparison to the average modern lifestyle, and why we should really start moving away from the average, from the norm, from being the classic guy that's overweight, he's sick, he's on pharmaceutical pills, he's not living the life of his dreams, and it all comes down to your lifestyle and your habits, and that is going to dictate where you actually end up and the trajectory of your life. So I'm going to walk you through basically what I'm doing, and I'll explain why it's working, why it's worked for hundreds of other guys as well. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you at the gym. Successfully conquered the mountain all the way, I can't even point, up there. It was super windy, so I couldn't record up the top. but good fun. This is an important part of your routine. Doesn't have to be hiking in the mountains, obviously, but some sort of walking or just general movement. The biggest hack to do this and do it long term is to do a hobby that's focused around movement. So if that's boxing, surfing, hiking, obviously, just something along these lines. And that's a major key to stay healthy long term, because you actually enjoy it. So you're going to want to do it long term. It's not like you're going to have to walk on the treadmill and you're dreading it. You're actually looking forward to it. So that's a major key to stay healthy. And this is one of the key parts of the Apex protocol, is figuring out what's the perfect movement focused hobby for you. This little guy. In the forest. Welcome back. Another thing I just wanted to touch on was counting calories. So if you are anywhere familiar with fitness, you probably understand what calorie counting is. And the large majority of people will tell you, yes, calorie counting, that's the way to go. And I mean, they have a point in a sense, but it doesn't work long term, right? When you are doing something with your nutrition, when you're doing something with, oh, go on, just got cut off. So when you're doing something, what I was saying is, I was talking about counting calories. So when you're doing anything with calorie counting or with, well, where are these guys going? Everyone's going everywhere. So I'm driving in Canada, and they have these extremely strange, like, four-way stop signs, and then everyone just stops, and it's a free-for-all. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, calorie counting. So when you're doing anything with your nutrition, when you're doing anything with your training, anything like in general with like a protocol or program or whatever, right? You got to ask yourself one question before you even start: is this a short-term thing or is this a long-term thing? If it's a short-term thing, like you want to do a bodybuilding show, like you're going to do this show and then that's kind of it. Obviously, maybe you'll do a show after that, but it's like there's a goal, like a time-placed goal, right? Or maybe it's a photo shoot, maybe it's a wedding, like for women, this is a big thing, or whatever, right? If it's a time-sensitive thing, short-term thing, then this doesn't apply. But 95% of the time, 99% of the time, most guys, they want to get, say, in shape, they want to get lean, they want a six-pack, whatever, then they want to stay there long-term. It makes sense, right? Of course, you want to stay as healthy, look as good as possible, as long as you can. So to do that, to do something long-term, your approach needs to change than the short-term approach, obviously. And when you do this, there's like 3 criteria that you need to basically adhere to if you want this to work long term. And these are the 3 things that I make sure we tick off every single time when we're coaching someone. Is the first one is, does it work? So obviously you have to actually make progress. Let's say you want to lose weight. Are you losing weight? If you don't lose weight, obviously it's a bad program or protocol. So the first thing is progress, and the second thing is health. Is it actually healthy for you, right? And this is really going into the long term, right? At some point, you're going to have to focus on your health. You're going to have to do things that are healthy for you. So why not do it from the start? Because you can make progress, right? You can do something that's bad for your health, and you're still making progress. Maybe, like, great example of this is, say, steroids, right? Is you're taking performance-enhancing drugs, you're stressing out your liver, you're stressing out your heart, you're detoxing these exogenous hormones, chemicals, and it's going to harm your health, and eventually you're going to have to look after that. So why would you do that in the first place? This is, again, talking about a long-term thing. If you want to do something short-term, by all means, you go and do that. But health is the second major pillar when creating something that's going to work for you. And then the third one is it enjoyable? And this is really where the calorie counting thing comes in, right? Yes, calorie counting works. Calorie counting can be good for your health, maybe not your mental health, but I can't park there. I'm trying to find a park here. This is crazy. calorie counting can be good for your health, I guess, but it's not enjoyable. I don't know one single person that enjoys counting calories. I have to go around here. Oh, this park. I don't know one single person that enjoys counting calories. So that's the third major pillar, is do you actually enjoy it? And that's such an important thing, because if you enjoy something, you will do it forever. Like, what's like great example for guys is video games. Like, guys love playing video games. They don't have to motivate themselves or be disciplined to go and play video games. It's because they enjoy it so much. Same thing with the super fat guy going to McDonald's. He doesn't have to work himself up, watch a motivational video to go to McDonald's and get his whatever he's getting, right? Because they enjoy it so much. And then we want to take that approach to our health or to our routine in general. So with your nutrition, for example, I was talking about counting calories. You don't want to actually count calories. You're not going to do that long term. No one's going to count calories for 20 years and actually enjoy it. So there's no point to do it to start with. So those are the three main things. You have progress. Does it actually work? Second, I'll do it this way again. Progress. Does it actually work? Health. Is it actually good for you? And 3, is it enjoyable? And then once you have a great mix of all these 3 things, that's where you have the Apex protocol. And that's what we do when we design a program for a guy. So it's different for every single person. You have to custom build everything for a specific person because everyone likes different things. The health is generally healthy for a lot of people, but that's why we do blood work, so we know what they need for their health. And then the blood work plays into the results and the progress, right? So we can maximize results. And that's how we get such crazy results in such a fast time, because so many of the guys that we work with, basically all of them, enjoy their process so much that they do everything. They never miss a training session. They never miss a meal or whatever it is. They don't need cheat meals because they enjoy it so much. And that's such an important part to actually get results and maintain them or continue getting results long term. So if your routine or whatever, especially your nutrition, this is a big one for a lot of people, is they think to get in shape, lose weight, whatever you want to call it, they need to sacrifice things that they enjoy doing, like, let's say, going to restaurants, hanging out with friends, having, barbecue, stuff like that. And they need to meticulously count everything they eat, weigh everything, bring Tupperware containers. You see this all the time, is people bringing Tupperware containers out to restaurants with their friends. And I mean, if it makes them happy, that's great. But I think that is just such a waste. It's actually doing more damage, I think, than just eating whatever kind of food, whatever kind of restaurant you're going to, is sacrificing that social connection for your weighed out broccoli and rice and chicken or whatever it is, is you can still be extremely healthy. You can still be the healthiest person in the room, the best in shape person in the room, 99% of the time when you go to restaurants. And you can go to them actually quite regularly as well. Once you're actually healthy, once your metabolism is working as it should be, you can, I go to restaurants often-ish. I eat ice cream every day, a whole tub. I was at the supermarket. I just picked up 3 tubs of Haagen-Dazs. I eat a whole tub of Haagen-Dazs every day. I love ice cream. And you can still be lean, healthy, vital, looking good. Is eating basically whatever you want. You don't have to follow a strict regimented diet. Obviously, when you're unhealthy and when you're sick, your metabolism is kind of crushed into the ground. It's more of a factor. But once you do actually get healthy, once you fix your metabolism, and it doesn't actually take that long, a couple months, if you do it properly, then you can basically enjoy what you want. I eat croissants. I go down to the cafe every day, croissant or chocolate croissant even, coffee, milky coffee. I put not sugar, but I put honey in it. All these little things that you actually enjoy doing, you don't have to give up just in the name of health. You can actually do them and still be healthy. Obviously, there's a caveat to that. You need to use good ingredients, which is another thing. But ice cream, that's why I get Haagen-Dazs, it tastes amazing. And honestly, I think it tastes better than any kind of other ice cream, except maybe a small homemade one or something like that. But the ingredients in it are actually clean.
It's not loaded with high fructose corn syrup, not loaded with seed oils. None of that kind of stuff is actually in there. So it's actually helping you. Ice cream is actually kind of anabolic if it's good ice cream. It's basically like milk. If you can get raw ice cream or make it yourself, that's obviously the best, but it's basically just like drinking milk and cream. It's super high in fat, which is really good. You actually want quite a high fat diet. A lot of people cut out fat, have a super low fat diet, especially the counting calories kind of people. 50 grams of fat a day. Nah, I don't even know what I'm doing, but it's a lot. It's like over 100 and something. It's like 200 or something like that. It's a lot of fat, but you actually want to eat quite a lot of fat. You have a lot of very important nutrients in food are fat soluble. So you actually need fat to absorb them properly. And a lot of people are not having sufficient fat with their meals. It's actually causing them a little bit of nutrient deficiency. So like the nutrition rabbit hole runs so deep, but at the end of the day, it's not that deep. If you just eat what you enjoy and the ingredients are good, like if they're natural ingredients, you're like 95% of the way there. You can still go out to restaurants, you can enjoy what you want. Obviously, when you're healthy and when you're sick, you can do different things. But once you're healthy, and it doesn't take long to get healthy, you can basically, within reason, do what you want, If you're smacking like a 12-pack of beer every day, obviously that's not going to be great. But, you can go out, you can have a few drinks with friends and things like that. I don't really drink, but you can still do it and like have amazing results. It's going to impact your sleep a little bit, as long as it's not habitual, like it's not the end of the world.
Training and movement are two slightly different things, and so many people get them mixed up, where they only do one and not the other. So your training, which is actually in the gym, hard, high intensity, as high as you possibly can, that's what's going to grow muscle. That's the fitness style. Movement is your daily walks, it's your mobility stuff, that's the health side of things. And mixing them both together, that's where you get the best results. Doing the movement-based stuff in conjunction with the actual training, you get maximal blood flow to your muscles, maximum nutrient shuttling there, you're gonna recover much faster, you can train harder, you're gonna be able to train more, the frequency will increase. And it's such a massive key that so many people miss out on, is doing light movement in the morning, usually like a mobility flow style thing. They're on my YouTube, you can look at them and how I do it. But another amazing thing you should add to your routine, around the background, is walking in between your sets. So at the gym, this is most people. They finish the set and they're on their phone, bending over, horrible posture. What we want to do, even if we are sitting down, make sure the posture is good, but ideally, we're going to stand up, walk around, get more movement in, more blood flow. You're actually going to recover faster walking around a little bit, staying on your feet, than just sitting down. At least that's what I've found. So super important, move around in between your sets. You're already at the gym, you're already spending this time here, so you may as well spend it as effectively and efficiently as possible. Especially a lot of the guys I'm working with, they're super busy guys. They're business owners, they're doctors, they're working 80, sometimes 100 hours a week. So it's great that you can stack things together, like your movement and your training, and actually do it both at the same time on your rest periods. And then a quick movement, 5-10 minutes here and there throughout the day, is gonna do massive things to your energy and your overall health and your physique as well, which is obviously important to quite a lot of people. So yeah, it's a little tip for you. If you try copy someone else's workout, 99 times out of 100, you're not going to get the same results as them. The best thing that you can do for your physique progress is get a customized, built training protocol and everything else, of course, as well, for you, because you are going to respond slightly differently than the next guy. So if you copy someone's workout routine, classic example of this is copying Arnold's blueprint of his training that he did. in the 70s. Copying that, you're probably not going to end up looking exactly the same as Arnold. Or another big one that's gained in popularity in recent years is Mike Mentz's workout. Yes, it's effective, but is it specifically designed for your physique and where you want your physique to actually go? And that's actually how I discovered and created the golden ratio training. And basically what that means is we do a physique analysis, like exactly where you're at right now, all the proportions of the physique. Muscle mass is important, but the proportions of those muscles to one another, that's more important, especially from an aesthetics point of view. And the golden ratio training, the method, is we basically analyze a physique, where do they actually want to take that, and then specifically build out a training protocol for that specific physique so we can guarantee that they actually do get to the result they want. And we've done this with hundreds of guys, like 300 and something guys now. And everyone gets crazy results with it because it's customized to them. And as their body changes and as they adapt to the actual training and their physique changes, the training changes as well. Because, you know, some parts of your body might be hyper responders. Let's say, for example, your shoulders grow way faster than your chest. That would change the actual training protocol because otherwise it's going to be out of proportion. Obviously, no one can have too big of shoulders. I guess that's a bad example, but you kind of get the idea. If one part is growing easier than another, obviously we'd audit the training and make sure you are actually training that part hard. A lot of guys have this issue is, oh, my legs don't grow. Most of the time it's just the actual training output. So obviously you have to audit that, but then you actually have to look into the volume of it as well. Like, okay, say the legs aren't actually growing with the same intensity, the same volume as, say, the chest, for example. So to keep it in proportion and avoid the chicken legs, you need to make sure you're increasing the volume and doing it in the correct way so that you can be perfectly proportioned as your physique grows as well. And then the end result, when you get there, it's going to look absolutely perfect, right? Doesn't really matter the starting point. A lot of guys are like, oh, my clavicles or my collarbone is short, so I can't have that V taper, which, I mean, yes, is true in a sense, but if you believe that, then that will be true 100%, because you will actually do the work required to overcome that and get that V taper that you want, or insert 100 other examples. But that's basically the idea behind it, is custom building training for your physique and for where you want your physique to actually go. And that's the golden ratio training method, and that's the part, a little bit of sun, that's a part of the Apex protocol that I actually take guys through. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna get back to training. Gonna check the post-training pump, crucial part of your workout. All right, finish up the workout. Massive benefit of having a private gym, is you can go no shirt, which is great. It's always good to see what you're actually training while you are training it. Really good to help with the mind-muscle connection, whatever. So yeah, quick posing session, checking the pump. Sweet. Gonna eat some food. Another tip for cutting the steak is you want to cut against the grain, so don't cut it this way, cut it this way. And when you do that, it kind of pulls apart. See this, like this, which makes it really tender and actually quite nice to eat. And eating it rare is typically the best. Even blue, if you like it like that. I kind of swap between blue and rare. And that's because you're not thoroughly cooking the actual meat on the inside, you're just giving it a nice sear. And you're doing that so you don't denature a lot of these nice nutrients inside of here, a lot of these fat soluble vitamins inside the beef itself. So don't cook it all the way through. Well done steak isn't great, it's much harder to digest. Perfect. Final product here. supersetted with the sunset. It's my chair. High quality.